Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Welcome again. Bioavailability reality check. That's what you clicked on. So there's all this hubbub around about bioavailability and having it absorb into your tissues and cells. I talk about it. My bioavailability is micronutrients based. Then I talk about digestion of the micronutrients. It needs to be unpacked from their carrying packets, and then the absorption part. So there's this, it's not an idea, they've measured but the bioavailability of some of the macros. How the mainstream tends to calculate bioavailability in the macros is, well, macros are the carriers of the micros, okay? And when we talk about bioavailability, it's how much fat is absorbed, how much proteins and sugars are absorbed into your physiology. I don't know the mechanism, but if you don't understand that what's in the proteins and the fats and the sugars and the water, water is also a macronutrient. There's 4 macronutrients, because also water carries minerals, and minerals are the big daddy, the granddaddy in the whole mix. So there's also this idea in the mainstream that 98% of the fat intake is bioavailable. It gets absorbed by your physiology. 92% of carbs, complex and simple carbohydrate, is bioavailable, and 70% apparently of the protein is bioavailable. You've got to digest it, and you've got to absorb it as well. It's not bioavailable for everyone. Bioavailability in a 15-year-old versus a 75-year-old is different, because they're going to be, each individual is digesting and absorbing at different rates. That's why after the age of 50, which I'm into now, age 51, we start to absorb less, particularly with my 4.5 decades of eating glutens. And I had a late start. I should be looking prettier than I am now. So it's a bit more complex than the lab determined bioavailability of the macros and the age. So we got the core, the raw bricks and mortar of the macros. Then you have the individual variabilities. Age is one, and then how disturbed, how impaired, how damaged your villi in your small intestine is, doing around 90% of the micronutrient absorption. So until bioavailable includes your digestion and your absorption, then bioavailable for what? And your age and how long you spent eating gluten comes into play. So even if people haven't eaten gluten for all their life, there's availability, bioavailability of the minerals, which comes into play. And that's why those people are still, we've had some outliers, centenarians and beyond, not beyond, just centenarians, and I meant super centenarians, the 110 year plus lifespan people. So it's getting complicated already in what I'm trying to say. So until we understand that gluten, but the non-gluten also live to 85. Availability of your micronutrients in that region where you get most of your food from. But these days, our food supply chain is global, not in some little pockets where people are self-sufficient, off the grid, but if they're not understanding bioavailability of their own physiology and the bioavailability of different minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and essential fatty acids, then they're not getting the whole picture, the whole efficacy, the whole effectiveness of understanding bioavailability of macronutrients and the micronutrients. So, to sort of sum up on what we should be doing to get the maximum bioavailability is do the Health 44. My clumsy branding of health equals doing the 44. So health 44, the first four of the 44 is, this is my regimen that I advocate for. The first four of the 44 is taking away 90+% of the supermarket, your glutens, oils, sugars, nitrates, and then bringing in that second four of the 44 is the 90 declared essential micronutrients, the four categories of micronutrients: 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids, and health. Okay, I started feeling things day 4 and lost half my body weight. It's a little bit north of that half, mainly because I've probably put on some lean mass. So when I hear the whole bioavailability, it's not for all. And to end up, the sum up is you better absorb that, the 44, you better digest it and then absorb it. Okay, so no eating or drinking. This is a start. In recent times, people suggesting, but what if, ease, you need some fluid to get things to flush through the system. Ease of digestion doesn't mean what digestion is all about. So digestion, the easiest, cleanest slate to start with is increase salt intake. Don't eat or drink. Don't drink 30 minutes before your meals and 90 minutes post your meals as a guide. A fat and protein laden meal of quite a bit of volume will take longer than it takes 4 hours to get out of your gut, depending on how much you eat. But it's a good start. Your gastric juices have had a good start to digest what's there. And that's where the release of the micronutrients is happening. Don't drink during your meal, especially. An ounce to wet your whistle, to if feeling a bit parched, is fine, but not 8 ounces, not after each bite of food, having a sip of wine either. That's a great clean slate to boost efficacy, effectiveness of bioavailability and the release of the macros and the micros in your physiology and cells. So, and you need to boost the acidity level of your gastric juices, as in lower the pH of your gastric juices to hopefully 1.0 and under. That's worse than battery acid, and that will unpack everything and make it bioavailable once it gets into your small intestine. And how do you do that? Well, don't eat or drink. Don't drink before, during, and after your meals. The 30 minutes and the 90 minutes. As a guide, 60 minutes is better than 30 minutes. 20 minutes is better than while you're eating, you're drinking. Increase your salt intake. People that advocate for apple cider vinegar will hair splitting, but it'll probably reduce the pH even more. HCl, that sort of thing, and it's not dependable. So I also indicate that it's you'll be able to process glutens if your pH level is that low, but when you're that low, you may not be that low all the time, and then all of a sudden there's a bit of damage being done to the villi in your small intestine. So, and who's going to be measuring the easiest way? Measuring your gastric juice, pH, nasogastric tube, down your nose, then you've got to aspirate. It's there in the right place, right? Onto some litmus paper, have a look, hoping that you're not colorblind and interpreting what the pH level is. So also, does the pH level even go down to 1.0? I'm not sure. Anyway, the darker it is, the more acid, and you'll get to, there's indicators, but people that want to see numbers, it's a bit more complex with other tests. So the cleaner slate is what I've suggested, because in those macros, to make the macros bioavailable, you've got to break down the macros to release the amino acids from the proteins, and then the B12 and all the stuff we need. And that's how it's done. Once we understand that, bioavailable will become more bioavailable. So I think I've made my point. Thanks for listening, viewing, and hopefully next time, I'll probably get to 2.5 viewers from 2.2. All right, bye-bye.